We're going to talk a little bit of NFL, and there's a lot of surprises out there, especially the team in Southern Ohio. I like the Browns, and it pains me to say Cincinnati's doing well, but they have been over the years. They're a team.
A lot of pain with the Browns, let's be honest.
Big time, buddy. But they had a huge win in OT on Sunday. I was very pleased. I'm good for the week. But I will say this. I will say this. Cincinnati, they have been a team that has been known to do well in the regular season. Postseason, terribly. They had a big mental test on Sunday, down 24-7 to the defending NFC champions, Seattle Seahawks. Came back to tie it up, ended up winning on a bank field goal shot, which was the luck, I don't know what you want to call it. The smiling gods, I guess, the football gods on Cincinnati. But I really think after that win, Andy Dalton and the Bengals are legit. Are there any other teams that you might find that are legit, or do you disagree that the Bengals should not be in this question at all? Andrew?
No, I actually put them in that grouping of, say, New England. That's a big thing to say. You're in a grouping of New England, Green Bay, Denver on the short end of the fourth one.
Their defense has been great.
Their defense is great, and they're just getting by with what they can win. I would love if C.J. Anderson would actually do something, but
Fair enough.
I think they are for real. They're a team that have, you look at their offense, they're top 5 in 3 of the 4 categories, top 10 in everything. They're going crazy. Their defense is actually good too. This isn't like we're winning everything based on our offense. You're winning based on everything. They can burn you so many different ways. So that's a team. Now their schedule's been, okay, let's put that out. It's not the greatest. No team they've played is over 500 as of right now. But still, you're beating teams like Seattle. You've beaten some teams like Baltimore. Like, these are good football teams, good histories of teams. So I'm satisfied with the Bengals. I think they are. I think they still have a weak schedule, and that's always going to dog them for the rest of the year. But
as long as they don't play prime time, because that's where Andy Dalton does a terrible job. But who do you think shines, if not the Bengals?
Honestly, I'm going to tell you, I probably, since the season started, I've turned my back on football, all because of baseball. Baseball has ruined my life right now, you guys. I'm barely even watching hockey. And so
it's not much to watch. So.
This is the thing, though, is honest truth. I can't really comment too much. I have, watch bits and pieces here, highlights here, this and that. But for me to actually sit here and go on about the NFL, I can. But let's talk baseball. Do you have another baseball question?
No, we're not good for baseball. But I'll ask you this: so you are going to deny? So you're going to deny all football? All football?
I'm not going to deny, but it has
including your Edmonton Eskimos.
No.
See there? Okay, now the flip. The script gets flipped here a little bit.
Technically, on Saturday, when there was so much hockey going, there was the Oilers playing, the Esks playing, all that stuff, and I made my friends watch baseball.
Well, there you go. Well, you should have watched the Eskimos, because it turns out they're number 1 in the CFL. Yeah. How about that? They defeated the Calgary Stampeders in a defensive battle.
Ridiculous.
And they're tops of the league. How did this happen? And are they now the dominant team? Never mind just being in first place, but have they dethroned, I guess, Calgary as the favorite to win a Grey Cup? We'll start with you, Andrew.
See, I looked at the standings this morning, and they had actually Edmonton in second. Now I'm going to go with the point differential and all that.
You were looking at what, sir?
The standings this morning.
Oh, I think you said the standings. I'm like, what?
I'm not sold on either. That's the thing. I'm sold. Okay, I'm not sold on either being top. They're obviously the 2 top teams. Yeah. The Grey Cup
by a long shot.
The
team comes close. Well, in the West, but even in the East, they still have better records.
Like your Grey Cup,
2 teams in double digits right now.
Your Grey Cup's going to be Calgary, and when the Calgary and Edmonton play, that's going to decide your Grey Cup winner. I really believe that. And you look at the games; they're so close. Can you really say Edmonton's that far ahead? They won in a defensive battle. Looking back earlier in the season, their games are under 10-point victories. Like, these are not blowouts. This is not one team.
As long as you have that defense that does the job. We talked about a team like the Denver Broncos who are relying heavily on their defense while their offense struggles. This is a team that just needs to get decent.
Struggled
exactly.
a lot this season.
And when you have a defense that helps out, that's going to be. That's why you should be number 1. Yes.
Yes, because they say defense wins championships, right? But sometimes it's frustrating when you can't see Riley, like when he's not. Having Riley back in the lineup, let's just put it that way, was a huge boost for the team, because he's your man, he's your starter, he is going to lead you to victory, right? But seeing the struggles where you can't connect, okay, fine, you're driving this and that, but nothing's happening because your defense is stepping up, but your offense is like, hello, paging you to the game. But I will say this, 2 huge victories over Calgary is probably the biggest ego boost they will get this season. Nobody else returning to that lineup or beating anyone else beating Calgary, finally at home and finally in Calgary, is probably the biggest thing. So regardless what happens this season, yes, out of the West, it's definitely going to be Edmonton, Calgary, and that's going to be fantastic to see what happens. But I don't think the East has what it takes to take down Calgary or Edmonton, regardless who comes out of the West.
Okay, well, let's move on to this. The NHL season started Thursday. I wouldn't say there are a couple surprises, but a couple pleasant ways that teams have gone on in terms of the Canadian teams. The Montreal Canadiens, for example, started off sharply. Carey Price looks like he is in his Hart Trophy form. You have a guy who's looking for, I guess, a Calder nod, or Norris Trophy nod, that is. And you also, and PK Subban, and then you also have another guy like Max Pacioretty who is named captain and leading by example. That's just one team. Of course, there's a lot of other, I guess, big headlines amongst the NHL happened the first week. Is there anything that's, I guess, surprised you? Anything that you want to kind of bring out?
I'd like to say Edmonton being up 2-0, but that's not
We
it.
knew that was going to happen.
That's not it.
They can't even score a goal. They have to rely on another team to score a goal for them.
we have to bank it off, other players,
Okay, it's the two. I'll only go with the two storylines. First one is obviously Eichel and McDavid. Eichel getting 2 goals, McDavid have nothing, and the Oilers have yet been given the Stanley Cup. That's the biggest one. So
no
far,
one's promising the Stanley
Nope,
Cup
they
besides
haven't.
crazy fans.
Yeah. The other thing, and I'm going to throw this, being that I was in Ontario last week, the sky is not falling in Toronto, and that is the most amazing thing. Maybe it was just around sensible Leafs fans, but people actually understand this is going to be a process. There's going to be a lot of pain, as Babcock said, and there was nobody freaking out. Like, sure, you got, there was my great Detroit friends were there to chirp my brother's Toronto Leafs, but no one was panicking. No one was just like, oh, we're going to win the cup this year. No, they all know it's part of the process, and that to me is huge. You've got Leaf fans to buy into the fact that this is going to take some time. And that's the biggest selling feature right there, more than getting players or Kessel to get off.
I think the only thing scary about the Leafs is those mannequins they have during practice.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Outside of that, that's the only thing.
Yeah, pylons. That's what FNUF's for.
All right, guys, we're going to take a commercial break.
I didn't have a chance to talk about McDavid.
Yeah, we're going to leave that just for now.
Talk about
And then
McDavid.
we're going to take a commercial break. We'll let Nahreman talk through her McDavid, and then we will come back with Over Under next.